It's time for IP in the news before we get to our distinguished guests. And so, what is the topic du jour?
Well, I found this from businessinsider.com and it was written by Hannah Gedahan. I hope that's how you say her name.
Oh,
So it's hot girl walk versus hot girl walk after TikTok trend starter says a Florida company is infringing on her trademark. So basically, she started Hot Girl Walk in Delaware, and then these girls in Miami decided they want to do Hot Girl Walk. So they just stuck Miami on the end of it and decided they could use her branding. And she wasn't too happy about that.
but guess what? Hot Girl Walk, the original owner had a trademark on Hot Girl Walk, right?
She did. She
And
still
what
does.
happened after that?
Well, so I first I want to say what Hot Girl Walk is. I mean, you're thinking, oh, Courtney or Kardashians or, no, Hot Girl Walk is where girls get together and go on 4 mile walks, hikes, basically.
Oh, so it's
So
a hiking brand?
it's not yeah, it's like a hiking group brand, right? So the girl that started it, and Amelia Lind started it in Delaware, and Monica Villegas and Lucia de Torre uh, started it in Miami and took her brand. And Amelia said that she originated it in 2021 and it's fitness training and inspirational messaging. And what really made her upset was that the two girls in Miami said they originated it, and they didn't. Be, they stole it from her. So it, they have now, it looks like, rebranded because their Instagram page no longer exists.
So, I mean, that's if you're an IP person and you think intellectual property is important, it's a great story because she was able to use her trademark. The owner of the Hot Girls Walk trademark was able to stop somebody else from using the brand, and she didn't have to file a lawsuit, right? She didn't have to take extraordinary measures, and so it's when you have trademarks, sometimes just having the trademark is enough to discourage copycats.
Right. Well, she followed the lawsuit, but it didn't go that far because I think they realized they were going to lose.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, no, can you cut that part out then?
yeah. So, sorry. This is
All right.
the way this article is written is a little hard to follow. Anyway, so that is our IP in the news. You cannot just take somebody else's branding and slap another word on the end.
And hope that that gives you freedom to operate.
If you want to make sure somebody can't do that to you, a trademark helps a lot.
So, Kenya, hi. Welcome to the show. So, what do you think about this hot girl walk trademark situation?
Well, it's interesting because you both know that I'm in the world of fitness, right? And there's really not anything new under the sun when it comes to anything really workout or fitness oriented. It's kind of a gray area sometimes, and like who really created and invented what. But I think she was smart in that she, like you said, got her trademark and got the name secured. So at least she has a leg to stand on. Because I know with certain trademarks and IPs, it's hard to kind of get things marked in the fitness space. So at least she had that in her favor.
Yeah, I think it was a pretty original name for, from a branding perspective, right? Because you're like, hot girl walk, what's that about? Right.
Oh,
So,
yeah. You're definitely wanting to see that.
I guess, right.
We want to define what a hot girl is, right?
So, Marcy, what do you think about this?
So I think the underlying phrasing of Hot Girl Walk is extremely catchy, and it's visceral and it's sexy and it's exciting. So to a certain extent, I don't blame other people for being allured by it. However, clearly, taking what was started by someone else and commandeering it as your own breaks laws. And I think that we all need to be very careful because we all stand on the shoulders of giants, and we are all impacted by what we see and hear at all times. So we may not recognize that a seed was planted and we think it's our own, right? So I can see both sides about why this happened, but I'm very glad that it seems to be resolving the way that you said, which is that it's trademarked and the originator will be able to benefit.
Yeah, and what's interesting here too is that looking at it from maybe the boutique's perspective, the infringer's perspective, maybe they saw it on TikTok, and they just thought it was fair game, and they just thought it was a slogan, and they didn't realize that there was a trademark on it, and they just thought it was sort of out there in the general public. And but if you're going to start a business, you always want to do a trademark search first, especially if you're going to invest a lot in your branding, your website. They may have had hang tags, they may have had brochures, they may have had packaging, all with Hot Girl Walk on it. They made a substantial investment, and they may have to change all of that, right? So if you're going to start a business, it's good to check out the name before you commit to it. I think that's standard trademark attorney advice. So so that's great. So Chad, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I think, copycatting is the highest form of flattery. So, I think the hot girl walk should be glad that they're actually copying it. But when you think about it from just a business or a legal perspective, I'm glad it played out the way it played out. I think there should be circumstances like that or cases like that in the news. And I think that kind of sets the rules for everyone else. Is you can't just add Miami and Texas or whatever you want to the end of people's names. Like you said, like you suggested, everyone needs to do some type of trademark search. Really, just if you're starting a brand, I think that's an essential part of building one. Is can you actually get away with selling this in your area or globally or whatever kind of jurisdiction or geographic area you're targeting?
Yeah, those comments are well taken, and if you do that, then you can avoid the problems that the store owners ran across in this case. Philip, let us know.
Yeah.
What's your take on all this?
Yeah, I'm actually thankful for hearing that little story, because me as a small business owner myself, I feel that this, let's say, trademarks often push out that decision, right? I'm always like, eventually I'll look after that. And that's not the right approach, right? At one point we see, okay, this is going somewhere. One should just sit down and make it a priority. But I notice myself that, hey, all of these other projects are just flying in. And then I always push it out. And I think this was just a gentle nudge as well to start looking myself again into all the things that I may be trademarking or where I want to get some copyright on. So thanks a lot for sharing that.
Well, thank you, Philip. And I do think that you're right. When you're in a startup mode, you have a lot of competing priorities, and you also have a limited budget. So you kind of have to decide, what comes first. And so sometimes the legal piece gets pushed down the road. But once you start spending real money on your marketing and branding, and you're really committed, you really do need to spend the time and the money to do the search on your name. It's not that expensive compared to a lot of other investments that you would make. It's certainly less than the cost of a website, substantially less. And just to have that peace of mind that you're not going to have to go back and redo things later, I think is important. So anyway.
So Kenya did her research on her brand.
Right.
So what are your thoughts?
Well, it's important, right? And I think, and you guys are helping me with the trademark for that. So thank you for all this. Because I think research is going to be the thing that kind of makes or breaks you, especially in my industry. It's going to be the differentiator. And I think the more data you have and the more information that you can put up there to back up your brand, it just gives more credibility in the marketplace.
100%.
Well, I couldn't agree more. And I guess the lesson of the story is that you should trademark or investigate your trademark before you start your business. And we have a website that can help you with that. If you want to learn more about trademarks, go to learnmoreabouttrademarks.com. And you can set up a consultation with me, or in the alternative, you can download some free content about how to get trademarks and their importance and their value. It's a great information source. It's called The Entrepreneur's Guide to Trademarks. So check it out at learnmoreabouttrademarks.com.